Good evening and welcome to Chasing Prophecy on the UPRN Radio Network, FM 105.3 in New Orleans, where we discuss everything and anything beyond the scope of normal. I'm Jenny Nicasio, along with my co-host Sean Kelly, Jason Petro, and we have a special show tonight, so I'm glad you're all here.
How special is it, Jenny?
Oh, well, I just want to let you know that Halloween's almost here. The full moon just went away, and we're out of Mercury retrograde. Yes, so it's going to be
happy
a cool
Torture
night.
Tuesday.
Yeah, happy Torture Tuesday to y'all. Remember to like us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, and we're on TikTok now. And make sure you like and subscribe and comment tonight. We have a special evening tonight. We're going to be talking mediumships. We're going to be talking ghosts. We're going to be talking aliens. We're going to be talking angels and demons. But we're going to start right by saying thanks again for being here, and make sure you comment. We're on a lot of different networks tonight and last week and next week. So we're on multiple platforms. And I just want to let you know that we have a special guest here tonight. I've met her many years ago when I was in my writing course at Chatham University. I interviewed her. Oh my God, it was probably back, oh my God, I'm going to have to say 2005, 2007. I was working on my master's in professional writing. Yes.
Almost 20 years.
Yeah, it was almost. Yeah. So that's where I first met Carole. She probably doesn't remember that. But we have a special guest again. I'm going to tell you who she is, Carole Obley. So I'm just going to read a little bit about her bio. Carole is an author. She's a medium, and her latest book, Embracing the Ties, I think that's it, that bind. I'm not sure. She's written so many, but we're going to talk about spirit, soul to soul connections. And she has communicated with souls for years, and she's helped so many people get through the grieving process, and she does private and public shows. And also, I just want to let you know, Carole is going to be at Nicasio Fields in Westmoreland County. So all you local people, she's going to be doing a, I think it's a group session, and it's called An Afternoon with Spirit. So you can go to her website, soulvision.net, I believe. So if I'm wrong, Carole, you're going to have to tell me, but I'm going to go ahead and bring you on right now. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Carole Obley to the show. Carole, how are you?
Hi, Carole.
Hi, Carole.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Carole.
Good to see you.
My website is Soul Visions. It's plural.
Oh, okay. So we got the plural.
Soulvisions.net. For the event that you mentioned, An Afternoon with Spirit, that's under events on there. And I'm really, really looking forward. I'm excited for the event and to act as a conduit for the people who come with their loved ones.
Yeah, we are really looking forward to it. So, Carole, before we get started, I just want to let people know that when you listen to her, if you have any questions or comments, please post them. And I want you to have an open mind when you listen to Carole, and put all your, skepticism on the sidebar for a little bit. But you're more than welcome to post your questions, and Carole can answer them. Carole, tell us how you got started. I know we had you on the show many moons ago. I think when oh my God, maybe a couple years ago, we had you on one of our first shows, I believe.
Yeah.
So tell our listeners and anybody watching, how did you get started in this mediumship?
Well, through a catastrophic event, and that event was a fire. And that was way back in the 90s. I've been at this for almost 30 years. I've lost count actually, probably, I think on my website I have 14,000 readings. I've done many, many, many years of readings, both group and individual, and radio. I've been on many Pittsburgh radio stations, but currently, in addition to podcasts like yours, I am also on with George Norrie on Coast to Coast AM.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
So I've been on there 6 times. I'll be on again November 10th with George Norrie. So I came onto the pathway that, this is a pathway that you're called to. And if you are meant to do it, you will know it. and the pathway will find you. And that's exactly what happened to me. After the fire that burned me out of the business that I was doing at that time, I had no clue what I was going to do with my life. I just didn't know. I floundered around for about 9 months. And then I got a phone call that really changed my life. And the phone call was from a friend of mine, um, who very unfortunately uh, passed in a car accident on her way to my house. Um, uh, so it was very tragic how that occurred. But she invited me to a metaphysical center in Berwyn, and small town, small center, and she said you should come and check this out. And at the time, I said, how is that going to help me get a job? I mean, I need to get a job and find out what my life purpose is. So I put it off for a number of months, and then she called me again, and she said, "You really should come to this center." So I got ready one Sunday morning, and I went down. And as soon as I stepped into the place, I knew I felt at home, and I knew that's where I really belonged.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I took a lot of classes on, particularly hands-on healing. I'm a Reiki master and was trained heavily in spiritual healing, which is a form of mediumship. And then I became very trained in mediumship, both at Delphi University, which is near Atlanta, Georgia, and also at Lilydale, New York, which is a spiritualist community. And uh, so, just a synopsis of my pathway, everything has accelerated from that day forward. There's been many ups, there's been some downs. Um, to date, I've written 4 books. And by the way, my latest one is called Wisdom from the Spirit World. That's about 2 years old. And so there's many, many blessings that I've experienced being on this pathway. And it's changed me to the point where I will never be the same person that I was before I began.
Now, Carol, when you were growing up, did you have anything that would spark that you thought maybe that you were different than other people?
Yes. Yes. From the time I was a little kid, I was very much interested in the paranormal. Um, I picked up books on UFOs when I was like 6 or 7 years old. My brother had books. Um, and I was very interested in things like the Bermuda Triangle, aliens, ghosts. Where do we go after we die? One of the stories I tell in my book is when I was a little girl, I walked with my grandma, my dad's mom, through a graveyard, and it happened to be a Catholic graveyard near her home, and they had photos on the tombstones. And I remember leaving my grandma, leaving her hand and walking over, and I looked at these photos,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them were of children, from the early 1900s and so forth. And I stood there, and I can recall thinking, where are these children now? Where are these souls? Do they know that I'm standing here looking at their tombstone? Um, and where do we go when we leave here? And so, even at that young age, I was extremely curious and extremely interested in what lies beneath the surface. Most people would call that the occult.
Mm-hmm.
Occult is not negative, it simply means hidden. So I was very into the occult even when I was a child. And over the years, I've had very some very strange paranormal experiences, which are absolutely true. I'm actually a very grounded person.
Mm-hmm.
And these experiences that happened to me, in which I literally saw spirit and saw ectoplasm, which is kind of a filmy white material. It resembles smoke, um, were so compelling and so real to me. And that's just a portion of what I've experienced when I stepped onto this pathway. Ironically, when I was a little kid, I was terrified of death. In Wisdom from the Spirit World, I wrote about that when I went to my first grandparents' funeral.
Mhm.
And I couldn't stand to even look at the body. It just looked like a wax figure to me. And I was very, very afraid. And every time I would close my eyes, I was a child, I was like 10 years old when my first grandpa passed.
Mhm.
And every time I would close my eyes after being to the funeral home, I would have that image of him lying there in the casket. And then, especially his hands, because they look like just wax to me. And so, death to me at that point was something really to be afraid of. And in my child mind, I didn't understand that the body is simply a vehicle for the soul. I didn't understand. I didn't have that concept. So spiritually, since that time, I have had many, many revelations through doing this work of the true nature of our soul and what we're doing here on the earth.
So I have a question. When you were growing up, did you find that was like family and friends supportive of your path, or did you find like because I know there's a lot of people out there try to tell their kids that spirits and ghosts aren't real and everything, and I feel like we're deterring a lot of like future mediums and paranormal investigators away from it when they grow up in that atmosphere. So how did that work out for you during when you were a child?
It didn't. And nobody in my family, I felt very alone, particularly when I really started delving into metaphysics and mediumship and so forth. I felt really alone because no one in my biological family, um, to my knowledge, has a mediumistic ability. Although I do know that it's come down my mother's side as far as sensitivity, um, and just being able to be very spiritual. My ancestors were more religious than spiritual. So I didn't really have any support, and I think that was the most difficult thing, Jay, to um, be feel very alone, and there was really nobody to ask.
Right.
Um, yeah, I've read many books, many books of famous mediums like John Edward and um, others, James Van Prague and so forth. And the ability kind of ran in their family. I think Van Prague was really um, derided for his ability. He was grew up in a strongly Catholic family. I grew up in a Protestant family in which church was very, very important. And the words medium and psychic were never mentioned in my family. In fact, my mother, who has passed 19 years ago now, but she did not adhere to that at all. And my father was an engineer, so he was very logical.
Right.
Um, and my sibling, he was into UFOs and so forth and curious, but he never really talked about mediumship. So it can be a lonely pathway.
Uh,
And sometimes we think, like, why am I on this pathway?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to be doing with this?
Yeah.
And that's why, I've done many readings over the years for young people or, the parents or grandparents of children who have psychic ability or mediumistic ability.
mhm.
So hopefully that they can get the support that they need.
Yeah, most definitely.
Absolutely.
Uh, Cindy Riddle Moreland from Kentucky says, I keep my gift hidden. My DSD, whatever that is, was a minister. My great grandmother said I was born with a veil on my face. She said, I was born to be a healer. Can you confirm?
I think she was referring to dad, possibly as minister. The A and the S are next to each
Yeah,
other on the keyboard.
probably.
That would be my guess.
Yeah, usually these abilities, I'm not tuned in, like usually when I'm doing readings and so forth, I'm very focused on that. But in the middle of an interview, I'm not. But my sense is that you are, um, particularly with these are abilities that you will never hear me use the word gifted. And the reason for that is because I believe that once ego enters this type of work, it can be totally destructive.
Mhm.
There needs to be humility. There needs to be service to spirit or God. And that has to come first. I think of the word gifted as putting somebody on a pedestal. I don't want to be there because the truth is, I was born with a sensitivity like the like Cindy, but it also needs to be developed. So usually you will see something in your ancestral line that indicates that that ability has come down the line. In the older days and even today, people were kind of afraid to talk about those things, for shame or, they were afraid of being ridiculed or perhaps
Mhm.
I myself have gotten, some negative emails and comments telling me I'm going to hell, or, it says in the Bible that you're not
Hmm.
supposed to communicate with the dead and so forth.
That's every ghost
Um,
hunter out there.
it's,
Yeah.
it's interesting to
Yeah.
me because this is about healing. It's not really entertainment. There are entertaining aspects to it, but it's really about helping people to heal, number one. And the second part of mediumship is to really awaken people to the magnitude of their own soul, to really understand that they
Yeah.
are an eternal being and that we will go on after we leave here. And that really eliminates fear.
Yeah, I got some when you said that ridiculed, posting it in my own local Facebook page, like our my where I live, where we're gonna have the afternoon with spirit. People were calling me, saying it was demonic, and I mean, I don't know how it can be if it's a gift from God, how it can be demonic, and I don't even know why they even had the boldness to post that. I mean,
Well, you'll always run into folks like that. You'll have the
Yep.
believers and the non-believers, and then the ones that just got to throw their 2 cents in to stir the pot and everything else.
I
exactly.
personally think that they're just afraid of
Well,
it. And
Yes.
that's their only defense
what was a
mechanism that they got.
pastor?
Well,
I don't know why he took the
Well,
time
it's
to.
crazy. An uncle of mine, he knows a exorcist, like an ordained actual exorcist, and he's into
Mhm.
the paranormal stuff.
yeah.
So, that's pretty interesting. In my opinion, see both sides there. For pastors messaging you that you're going to burn and all this other stuff, but then it's like, meanwhile, I know an actual exorcist that is into it.
Hmm.
So it's
Well, the thing is, yes, you're absolutely correct. It does come from fear. Um, I wish some of the people who condemn mediumship would understand that there are multiple examples of mediumship in the Christian Bible. The whole chapter of Revelation is mediumship.
Oh, yeah, I would say
The
so.
whole chapter. It's about visions, clairvoyance.
Yeah, their
It's about
prophecy. It's
hearing.
the same.
And there are many prophets in the Bible. So um, this has nothing to do whatsoever with Satan, demons, anything along that way, unless you consider that Satan comes with gifts of healing and reassurance and alleviation of grief and reminding us that we are an eternal being that we are spirit.
Hmm.
So, one of the questions I've been asked in numerous interviews, have you ever connected or communicated with a negative entity? And the answer to that is no, because of the natural law of like attracts like. That is a natural law, meaning God's laws. So we only attract to us what we're emitting, because that's the energy frequency that's going to be attracted to us. And because I do not entertain anything from the dark side at all, I rarely watch any of the paranormal television shows. I think a lot of them are staged, a lot of them are fake. I can tell you that because I was involved in a reality show at one point, and it was not reality. It was not. So a lot of what people see on television also with mediumship, it's heavily edited.
Oh,
Nobody is going to be on 100%.
Yeah, that's
Those are
exactly true.
heavily, heavily edited for the wow moments, for the jaw-dropping moments, for the crying. Um, so I'm glad that mediumship is on television, because it's exposing more people to the concept of mediumship. But it's also has led people to ask me questions like, when you go into the grocery store, do you see spirits around people all the time? And when you go through a drive-through window, at Wendy's or something, are you seeing spirits? And the
Dave
answer
Thomas, you see him in the window.
is no. Um, you should not. Any legitimate or genuine medium is not working 24/7. In fact, that's a good way to get sick or to
Yeah.
burn out. You have to know how to turn the switch off.
Oh yeah, it'll be just emotionally, physically, mentally draining. I just know when we go on paranormal investigations, after a couple hours, we're just drained completely from
yes.
spirits using energy or just the hype of it and everything else. So I can only imagine if you were doing that constantly, like you said, it would just wipe you out.
All
I
right.
couldn't imagine that.
Now I know for me, after a paranormal investigation, I get hungry. Whenever you do something, Carol, readings and stuff, do you get hungry afterwards?
I do.
You
I
do?
do. And the reason for that in my case is mediumship actually uses some of the medium's energy. And I mean life force energy. Um, and yeah, sometimes I could sit down and eat a three-course meal when I do
Amen.
groups. Groups are usually 2 hours of solid mediumship, along with a little guided spiritual meditation at the beginning, which I'll be doing at Nicasia Fields. So it does use some of the energy of the medium. You have to be physically fit, you have to be emotionally fit, and you have to be spiritually fit to do this work.
Hmm. I would have to say that you have to, because I know a lot of people. I know, like Edgar Casey, when he would do his readings, he would be totally like exhausted, and sometimes he would actually get whatever that person had for like, I don't know if it's like for how long it lasted. Sometimes it lasted for 10 minutes. Some days it lasted for one day or two. Did you ever have that problem if you were doing a reading on somebody who was sick?
Um, no, because I know how to establish really healthy boundaries. Casey that's a man that I've done many, many studies on. In fact, when I've been on Coast to Coast with George Norrie, we've talked about Edgar Casey because he's probably the most famous medium,
Hmm.
American psychic. There are many others, but Casey was actually doing um, trance mediumship, which means he left his body. His
Hmm.
his soul, his consciousness exited his body, and these spirit entities, one of which spoke in biblical terms, which, if anyone has read Casey's readings, they're
Hmm.
rather difficult. They're kind of difficult to understand because they're written in a biblical language. And what Casey did was when he exited his body, he actually traveled to the Akashic files. or Akashic records. That's something in my books I've written
Mhm.
a lot about. The Akashic files are the soul's book of life. Casey called them the book of God's book of remembrance. And they contain everything that the soul has done since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
It's like a giant tape recorder. And all past prior incarnations, every word you've spoken. I mean, this interview will be part of my Akashic file, you know. So Casey, that's how he was able to tune into anybody. And he
Mhm.
never met people. I mean, this was during the 20s and 30s. He was doing his reading, 1920s, 1930s. He would
Mhm.
have a name and he would simply go and retrieve that person's Akashic file. And he was able to diagnose. He got scads and scads of letters in those
Mhm.
days. I mean, didn't even have telephones, certainly, not tape recorders, no internet. So people would write to him and he helped heal many, many people.
We have a question from Ren. Do you have a spirit guide?
Yes, everybody, every human being has spirit guidance available to them, as well as angelic connection, as well as connection with the ascended masters, the saints. They are sort of multidimensional. They can work with many people at the same time. Spirit guides are based on, there are many different groups of spirit guides. This is another topic I've written extensively about in my books. And um, the guides are in groups based on what their specialty is. For example, there are groups of guides who are primarily teachers. There are groups who are healers. Um, there are groups who work with science, and the connection between us and the guides is sort of predetermined before we come here. And that's in these things called blueprints. I've written extensively about them as well. And the blueprints are the soul's plan for the lifetime that is upcoming when that soul will incarnate into the body of a small infant.
Mhm. It's really interesting. Cindy, does anyone ring? I think she means does anyone have a ringing in their ear that's deafening?
Not me.
I have tinnitus.
I do, but I don't know if it has anything to do with spirit.
Well, I can tell you that I have had all sorts of bizarre things happen with my hearing ever since I was many years ago, like 30 years ago, um, when I was attuned to Reiki, which is
Hmm.
a Japanese modality, hands on healing. And as soon as I got that attunement, they're called attunements, and I am a level three, I'm a Reiki master. My ears started ringing, and they still ring today. There's nothing whatsoever wrong with my hearing. I hear tones. I will get shifting that goes on. Sometimes it will really intensify when I'm doing readings. So my theory on it is that it's the transmission of energy from the spirit world.
Um, Carol, about Reiki. Okay. Now I know there goes to a lot of studying into that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I did have a friend that had started off at Reiki in June, and by August she was a master three. Was that possible to go that quick?
Oh, it's entirely possible, but I definitely would not recommend it because just as a medium that's speaking like me, I mean, when I do readings, that's a conduit, a communication vessel for non physical souls. Universal life energy, which is what Reiki means. It's a Japanese term. Um, the vessel is that person that is transmitting that energy. So there needs to be a clearing out of that individual and sort of a cleanse. They talk about a 21-day cleanse after you get each attunement. And it could be emotional cleansing, it could be physical. I've heard of people that, get sick or, have different things come up for them. With me, I had a very peculiar thing happen. Um, I believe it's when I became the Reiki master. During that attunement with the master who was passing that along to me, I had water just like pouring out of my hands at the chakra or the energy centers in the palms of my hands. And I thought, this is really strange. Um, I mean, it was just, it wasn't like a fountain or anything, but clearly there was water coming out of my hands. Um, so I wouldn't recommend doing Reiki attunements that quickly. There needs to be sort of an acclimation to being the vessel. And it's just like mediumship. I've, you know, I've been dismayed in the past decade with how many people I have seen that are claiming to be mediums. And this work takes years and years of perfection, of training, of sitting in sessions, sitting in development, to be able to give accurate readings to people. It's not something that you can go to a weekend workshop and then you hang out a sign that says, I'm a professional medium. I see everybody using that term now. And I can tell you that it takes a long time to really be confident in that what you're perceiving is not coming from your own thoughts. And there has to be an attunement created between the spirit guides who are working with you and with the medium and with the spirit guides. And there has to be a raising of the consciousness spiritually of the medium.
So
What
what do
would
you
say
think of?
would?
Okay, go ahead. You can go.
Oh, thank you, Jenny. I appreciate
you.
it. Torture Tuesday. I was just wondering, with all your years of experience and expertise as a medium, what would you say is your most like compelling session you've had, or communication? I'm sure a lot of people are interested, to hear like a story you might have, be like, wow, this is just wow. We've
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there are so many. One that comes to mind, and actually, it's a story out of my second book, I'm Still With You: True Stories of Healing Grief Through Spirit Communication. Um, I've done a lot of readings for people who have lost children, and that was the case in this particular situation. It was a 21-year-old uh, guy who was killed in the car wreck. And his parents and his sister came for a family session. This is many years ago. Um, and he came through like a gangbuster. He provided so much evidentiary material, things that I would never know. I don't ask any questions of people before I read for them. The only thing I say is, do you want mediumship or do you have life guidance? Because I do a lot of life guidance with people as well as mediumship. I'm also extremely studied in astrology, and I read natal charts and karmic astrology charts too. In this particular reading that I did, this young man not only talked about the circumstances of his passing, he named the individual who happened to be, actually tragically, one of his friends who came upon this accident. He came upon the accident that this young man passed over from. And the first name of this guy came through, of the friend. There were numerous things. If anyone's interested, All of that is in my book. None of my books are embellished. They are true and accurate as far as what has happened. And the one interesting thing that happened with this guy, well, actually, there were two very strange things. I had been burning incense prior to this family coming, and I put the incense out before they arrived because I didn't want to overpower anybody with, the smell. And I even checked the incense stick, on my finger to make sure it wasn't burning, it wasn't hot. I looked at it, no smoke is coming out. So I put it out. During the reading, near the end of the reading, the mother says to me, and this incense stick was behind me on a table behind me. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, there's smoke coming up from there." And I turned and looked, and the incense had reignited. Now, the reason that is significant is because this young guy, their son and their brother, had produced many physical phenomena to let his family know he was around. He would play with the television set. They would get a blue screen and strange, designs on the television set. He left on the anniversary of his passing. He left a very strange message on the family's answering machine.
Oh, that's giving me
And it was on the
Yeah.
anniversary of his passing. So, there was just so much physical evidence from this guy, as well as mental telepathy that he transmitted to me that was given during this reading. So that one stands out. And there are so many others. Many times before I do groups, I will sit and I will have a piece of paper, not knowing anything about who is going to be present at that group. And sometimes I will sit and say, is there some souls who want to come to me prior to the group? And I will sit there with a pen and paper and write down evidentiary material. And then I put that in my purse and I take it to the group. And 9 times out of 10, it connects with someone there. And I'm not talking about general information. I'm talking about very, very specific information. And yes, many examples of that. Sometimes when I'm going to sleep at night, I will have a soul come through to me then, and they'll tell me information. And then, the next day, I realize, oh, this soul is going to this person that I didn't even know, on the next day. So that's just a small sample of things that are true that have happened to me.
Carol, have you ever seen like a vision of someone that looks like you're actually seeing the person? I mean, like physical form?
No, I have not had that happen. It's almost all been through clairvoyance, which
Mm-hmm.
is seeing through the third eye or the brow chakra. Energy chakra just means a spinning wheel. And we all have these. There are 7 of them. But I have seen ectoplasm, um, this filmy material.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also, I have seen a shadow person. Those kind of dark figures.
We caught one on camera.
Yeah, those are, that happened these were 2 different houses that I lived in.
Mm-hmm.
And I had those experiences happen.
What do you feel about people who claim that they actually see the physical person sitting on the foot of their bed?
I believe them
You believe them?
because it really depends. It's just that it hasn't happened for me in that way. But the clairvoyance, and it took me many, many years to really open up these upper
Mm-hmm.
chakra particularly with clairvoyance, reading after reading after reading, and energy work that I had done to open up even further. So, spirit wants us to know, and loved ones want us to know, I really didn't go anywhere. I'm right here with you. The bond of love is indestructible through death. Absolutely indestructible. It is forever, it is eternal, and relationships are forever as well.
Have you
Okay.
ever have do a session with somebody to where it was so tragic that you had to stop in the middle of the reading for the person to
Mm,
claim to get you
yes.
back?
Well, I didn't stop, but there was a woman who came one time who had lost two children in a house fire. And and she was a relatively young woman. And I it was just, I don't know how she was sitting there. That was one. Another thing that really gets to me are people who, there's so much of this now. I've been doing so many readings for people who have lost a loved one through a fentanyl overdose. Um, it's so rampant now, and the people are heartbroken. I've also, another difficult one is when people who have lost somebody to suicide. I do not believe, I don't know how people ever cope with, I don't think I could. I mean, I'm a pretty strong person, but I would imagine that you have post-traumatic stress and all sorts of things. I have a tremendous compassion for people who suffer those kind of losses. And I'm very honest and genuine about what mediumship can do and what it can't do. It is another tool in the toolbox of healing. So is
Mhm.
counseling, so is prayer, so is writing, journaling. Um, that mediumship is just one tool in the toolbox. It's not a cure-all.
We have a few more
Interesting.
minutes with Carol, so if you have a question, please post it in the chat. She's only here
I
till 10.
I think Christine Marie says, "How do you connect with your spirit guides?"
Oh, very good question. The number one way that you can connect with them is through meditation. And I don't mean a long, sitting in a lotus position type of meditation. I'm talking about stillness, focusing on your breath. It's called mindfulness, and going above the transcending the rational mind. It's sort of the same technique that I use when I do readings. We have this rational mind, and we need the rational mind. It's, you don't want to get rid of that. But there's also that part of you that is the soul, and that's the eternal part of you. When you connect with that soul through meditate, your own soul through meditation, that is when you will feel an expansiveness, and you will, it might take some practice to be able to connect with spirit guides. One of the things that I teach, I do a lot of teaching. um, I've done, I do Zoom webinars with teaching, I do mediumship development and all of that. One of the things that I tell people is to ask your spirit guides for a calling card, just like a business card. And, but it will be something that you will be able to recognize. Say, for example, I'll use my own life. I have a Hindu gentleman who is a spirit guide, and he always appears to me wearing white, and he has the cloth on his head and so forth. When he used to come around, I would smell Nag Champa incense, which is an Indian incense. That doesn't happen anymore. I just see him. I'll just see him. You can ask for a sensation in your physical body, um, maybe sort of like a tingling about the head or shoulders. That can also happen with deceased loved ones, that you perceive them in that way too. Um, so sometimes the spirit guides, we can just feel that they're there. Um, we don't necessarily always have to see them. But the best way to do that is through raising your own frequency, raising your own spiritual awareness.
Thank you.
Cindy wants to know, where can we get your contact information?
You can contact me through my website. That's soulvisions, and that's plural.net. I also have a professional Facebook page, and it's facebook.com/soul medium, SOUL plus the word medium. And there I post every single event that I do. I post, all my workshops. I post about coast to coast, different podcasts that I do. So those are the two main ways that you can get a hold of me. All of my books are also on Amazon and Kindle.
Thank you.
Yeah, and don't,
Yes,
and don't
thank
forget
you very
October
much.
23rd at Nicasio Fields in Westmoreland County. She'll be there. You can get your ticket on her website at the events tab.
I'm so excited.
Hey, so am
I'm so
I.
excited about coming to that. It's a beautiful facility. I know from
Yeah.
the outside it's beautiful. I'm sure it's just as beautiful on the
Oh
inside.
yeah, it's
And
beautiful.
Am I
yeah,
hearing motorcycles or
yeah.
something?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
hear a
are.
motorcycle.
No,
Yeah, I hear
seriously,
him too.
one went down the street. Honest to
Yeah,
God.
I'm
I ran
hoping
3
for
streets
a
over.
nice day that we can do it outside, but if it's not, we'll just do it inside.
Sunday the
But
23rd, right? That's a
Yep.
Sunday,
yeah,
right?
yeah, you can get tickets on her website. Yeah, you're not taking any at the door, right?
Um,
Or are you?
I haven't thought about that. But we can. We can. Um, so yeah, I guess that's a possibility. I've had a decent amount of people sign up already. Um, Unfortunately, I can never guarantee a reading because I don't
Hmm.
control it. I surrender to the
Yeah.
spirit world. I absolutely, the hardest part of my work is um, coping with people's expectations
I
because
Right.
bet.
I feel, I mean, I'm a human being. I feel badly. I can't get to everybody, in a group. But there is synchronicity, which is meaningful coincidence that operates within a group setting. Meaning, no matter how small the group or no matter how large it is, one of the things I've experienced is that there's synchronistic communication that will come through.
Hmm.
So, my readings contain a lot of names, memories, circumstances, validating information, things that I absolutely would have no way of knowing about the recipient of the reading. And sometimes, believe it or not, as specific as that gets, there's another individual there and they'll go, wow, that sounds like my family. Or, the names are the same, the passing conditions of those people are the same. So there's healing that is going on for that entire group.
Hmm.
There's actually an energy that's created, a positive, uplifting energy that's created within that mediumistic field.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you for being on, Carol. It's
Yeah, thanks
always
a
good
lot.
to
It's
see
very
you.
informative and
Thank you so much for having me. It's been my pleasure.
Hope to have you
And
on again, bud.
Yeah.
absolutely, I'd love to come back. Thank you.
Well, we'll keep you, but we remember, if you're in the local Pittsburgh area, she's at Nicasio Fields October 23rd. Check it out on her website. Thanks again, Carol, for being with
thank
us.
you,
I
Carol, for
appreciate
joining
it.
Torture
Thank you,
Tuesday on
Carol.
Chasing Prophecy.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, it
Yeah, that was
was.
real.
That was a good
That was
one. Yeah.
informative.
She is so nice. She really is.
You know what I really
Yeah,
liked
I'm glad I ran into her.
is the point that where she says that she lets it happen, like trying to meet expectations is almost impossible because a lot. There's probably a lot out there that will just
Hmm.
start will like kind of read off of you and just throw stuff out there
Yeah.
and make you think what you want to hear. But I like how, she just lets it happen, and when it happens, that's what it is.
What the heck did I just
It
do?
seems to be a lot more authentic and, definitely respectable.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad I
So,
ran into her.
yes. Yes.
Did
But
I hear it?
let me ask you, you were talking before we went on about what was that dude's name from Chicago, whatever?
What are you
Uh,
talking about?
our
Scruff McGruff?
Are you talking about who are you talking to? Jason?
no, you.
You,
Um,
Jenny. Are
you
you
know the
listening?
guest that we had last week that was like
Oh,
into,
Margie K.
yeah. And who was her boyfriend?
Her boyfriend?
You know the dude that's supposed,
Thor.
yeah.
You're making me
Unfortunately, I
laugh.
missed last week, so I
Yeah,
can't
That's
relate.
okay.
I'm gonna have to fix my camera. I don't know what the heck's going on. It just totally dropped. I think there's demons in here.
Torture Tuesday Gremlins.
Valiant Thor.
Yes.
Yes,
I
we're
want to
gonna
hear
talk
what you
about him.
found out. I want to hear what you found out.
Yeah, let me try to figure out why my camera it just dropped on me. It's not my camera. It's my
There you go. That's
my
better.
That's
it's my
better.
it's my compute my oh geez. I need to go back to bed. My monitor. Like I said, I'm using two different cameras, two different
But I only see one
monitors.
camera angle.
Yeah, well, it's goofy. There's a camera on this one. I'm looking at it's weird. I see two different people. Okay, two different things. Whatever. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and share that with you if I can find it on here. Valiant Thor. He's there's a book that you can get on Amazon and read all about him. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's here it is. Stranger at the Pentagon. So let me I'll show this to you. He apparently visited Dwight Eisenhower. Is that his
Hauer.
name? Dwight
Eisenhower.
Eisenhower.
Hauer. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, he visited him. Well, this is what happened. I can't talk and try to share because I'm
We've
not even
noticed.
see. Wait, there is no what happened to the share?
I
Uh-oh.
don't know. So he met Dwight D. Eisenhower.
There it is.
Huh?
Yeah, he crash landed in Virginia, supposedly. Here is the can you see that? Can you see it? This
Yeah,
is
I see it.
Stranger at the Pentagon. So I read that. Now, it says that this UFO crash landed in Virginia, okay, during the Eisenhower term. And Richard Nixon was the vice president, and he demanded when the authorities, this is what kind of got me off, kind of didn't make no sense, okay? The police showed up, and he went up to the police. I mean, you figure this UFO didn't crash, it landed in Virginia in the outskirts somewhere in like the countryside. And the police, wasn't the FBI, wasn't anybody from the military. He said he wants to see the president of the United States. Now, the police took him to the White House. And this is where it gets a little like, yeah, okay, right.
Oh.
Okay, right. The police took him to the White House. Okay.
There we go.
Now, first of all, there'd be a big security thing. I don't think that would even happen, but he goes in, he demands to see the president. And of course, Dwight was all up into it. That's what it says in the book, Dr. whatever his name is, the stranger. The guy that wrote the book, Frank Strange, a PhD, said. So he goes and he talks. Yeah, he talks to the president. And he tells him it's during the Cold War, I guess. The reason why he was there was to stop any kind of nuclear you know, catastrophe again. I guess because the bomb that dropped in where was that?
Hiroshima.
Hiroshima.
Oh
And
yeah.
his mission was to spread love and peace throughout the universe. Okay. Now Margie said that she talks to this guy. Now it's so silly. I'm trying to be positive and think, well, maybe there is I'm going to try to communicate with this Valiant Thor. So, Saturday night, was it Saturday? Or
Oh
I think
boy.
it was Saturday. I watched American Horror Story, and he was on it the
You
last
had a
couple
nightmare with him
episodes.
in it and thought you were there.
Okay, Valiant Thor was there. Not only was he there, but apparently he went to Area 54. Is it? Yeah, Area 51. Excuse me.
51.
51.
Where is Area 54? There is one actually. So in the story, American Horror Story, that there's a underground facility, and they've been abducting people. Now, Valiant Thor happened to be there on American Horror Story, but according to the book, this is where it gets a little weird. Margie said that this was an alien from Venus, the Venetians, okay? And they lived underground. Okay, apparently a lot of other planets they live underground. So I'm like, why is Earth the only one that they don't live underground? So that was one of my things I was thinking about when I watched this and read this. Now, he's supposed to spread love and peace. Okay, I can see that. American Horror Story, he wasn't. Apparently, the alien race made a treaty with Dwight. Who knows? Maybe it is true. I don't know. That they would allow so many people abducted every year for technology, like the microwave, the cell phones, any kind of MRIs, image, all this advanced. Because if you think about it, they said, how could we, even in the book, it said, how could we advance so much technology in such a short time? Because what is it? When was Dwight in, what year was that, Sean, when he was president?
look it up.
1963, 62?
I'll find out now.
It was
Yeah,
around
Sean was
Kennedy
just a
because
pup.
it was around the Kennedy assassination because he told Val Ford
60.
told this strange guy that Kennedy was going to be assassinated. Was it 63?
Let me see. Listen. No, January 20th, 1953.
Okay. No,
January 20th, 1961.
okay. Now Val Ford told Dwight Eisenhower that Kennedy was going to be assassinated if he becomes president of the United States.
Ugh.
Yeah, but how many folks, crazy people out there say that same thing about every president that gets in there?
I don't know. But on the it was funny on American Horror Story. He looked so much like that, the real Val Thorpe. Now, as you read when you go deeper into the book, it turns out, now this is where I believe that it might be true, because my theory is on, same with John Ventures. That's why John, if you're listening, if I doubt it, she'll hop on. Aliens and demons are the same. There are some.
Man.
No, he said
Oh, boy.
he wasn't an alien. He came out and told the author or the person who wrote the book that he was an angel.
Okay.
And he was working with God and Jesus Christ. And he was coming to tell them, he was an archangel, and he was coming to tell them that they're going to have to, be careful what you're doing. If there's these bombs, that they're nuclear bombs, they're going to destroy the human race. And I got to thinking, well, with Putin and all this crazy stuff about Biden said that we're going to have the apocalypse because there's a bomb. You know, that he's going to blow everybody up.
Oh, I'm tired of
Maybe
paying
Val
bills. Bring it
Thor.
on.
Maybe Val Thor is going to get in contact with Marjorie Kay and tell her, you know, we can't be doing the bombs.
I see that happening. I just
No,
had
it
a
was
vision.
really, it was interesting because this Val Thor is everywhere and there are pictures of him and he was at Congress. So I don't know. You should, if you have money, you got this blow on something, or you can get the audio book.
Well, who's the author?
See, you lost me when you say just
It's right
walked
here.
right to the White House to see the president.
Yeah, that's where I was a little. Can you see that? Let me see
Like,
if I
go
can
ahead,
make it
Jenny.
bigger.
Walk into the White House to talk to the president. How about
Oh my
some
God.
presidents? Tell me what happens.
That,
Wait, can you
the
see
guy's
it?
last name is
Stranges.
Frank
Stranges.
Stranges.
Yeah.
Think about it. Stranges.
No,
I don't know. I have a
it
real
has a
hard
lot of
time-
good. It has a lot of good reviews on it, and it's a very interesting book. And he's the Valiant Thor. He was a real person that has appeared to not one but like 70 different people across the nation. And you can even you can follow him too. There he is right there. Now these are some books. This one is a good one too. Fantastic Being. There's so many people have written about this guy. So
Did
it's
they
not just
actually
like
meet this guy in order
yeah,
to write a
there's
book about him?
there's people. Yeah, the book in this book, he actually talked to the person. This person, he looks familiar. I don't know about you guys. I think he looks
Or is he
looks
just
like your
telling a
typical.
story to make you believe he did?
Thank you, Jay.
He looks like your total. He looks like a newscaster from the 50s. You know, or
50s
like a movie
greaser.
star, like Clark. Yeah, he looks like a very, very handsome man. But he's spreading love and peace, and that's why a lot of people think he's. Well, that's why he said he wasn't an alien. He was a angel, and according to a number of ufologists, there's so many different species of aliens. There are the really bad ones, the reptilians, and that was on American Horror Story too. And they said that there was somebody, Henry Kissinger was a reptilian on American Horror Show, and his little tongue was it came out, his eyes would turn
Sound like
over.
that, Jenny? Could you show us again, please? I missed that.
But it was interesting. So if you get a chance and if you have nothing to do, go on to FX and watch it. There was like the last 3 episodes of American Horror Story last season. It was weird, but it made me think. That was very interesting. I mean, I was very interested in this, and I think I'll go back and read another one because maybe Margie really actually talks to this guy. I don't know.
Well, why don't we try to hook up with him?
Well, I thought
bring him
about
on
that
the
because
air.
I thought you could actually meditate and you could bring him in.
Okay.
Maybe
Well, why
do
don't
something.
we should get a medium on here that can try and contact him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be that. Would
Well,
be
I'd
pretty-
like Margie to come back on and to actually do it. She said she talks to him. Why can't she go into a meditative state and start talking to him on the show?
Well, true.
She said he in
But
the
then
book.
how do we know that the whoever it is actually talking to him? Or
I don't know. In the book,
We don't
the guy was driving and he appeared in the back seat.
Oh my God.
somebody had too much to drink is what it sounds like to me.
Maybe.
Yeah, he was
Maybe.
on a long drive out in the middle of freaking Nebraska.
Yeah,
looking
when
at
I'm
It
on the
could
road
be.
for like 10 or 12 hours straight, I
Yeah.
start to see stuff too.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not bashing any of what she thinks. I mean, I'm just saying that if she has that ability, why doesn't she do it on the live show?
That's a good point. That's a good point. You should ask her about that.
Man.
Yeah, we'll just take this commercial break and thank Carnation for that delicious morning. It's Breakfast Essentials, and thank you for sponsoring the second half of Chasing Prophecy. And if you think
Carnation.
you'd be a good
you,
guest for the
Carnation.
show, please give us a holler.
Jenny loves that.
Yeah, I know she does.
Late 80s, early 90s.
I like.
drawing
I know.
machine.
I like it. I like it. Yeah. So back to the show, folks. So if you have any comments for Jason and Sean and myself, please post them in the chat. So for the last bit of this second hour, I just want to say
Yes.
Halloween is almost here.
Yep.
Remember last year's show?
was
When I
Yeah.
dressed up.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you did. Yeah, Jay, you were the best. That was the
Yes,
best
you were.
costume ever.
With my blonde hair. Oh, it's
Yeah.
gone, honey.
Time
Yeah,
to
a
get
lot,
new
10
wig.
pounds lighter and now I'm dark hair. Yeah, that's life for you, folks.
So, what was your Jen? What was your favorite activity to do on Halloween when you were young, besides getting candy?
Well, that kind of defeats the purpose there, Pap.
Well,
Dressing
we
up.
Probably dressing up.
Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed it. I still enjoy it.
Did you like
But-
go all over the place and
No, just in my
bring out two
neighborhood.
pillows?
Just
Oh,
my
hell.
neighborhood.
How about you,
Yeah.
Jay? Did you go out with 2 pillowcases?
Well, I have a. Well, first, when I was growing up as a youngster, my favorite part of Halloween was actually going to the haunted houses locally.
Oh,
Oh,
there
God.
was a lot
Oh, yeah,
back
that
in
was
the
fun.
90s. There was, around Bethel Park, there was the haunted yard. Castle Shannon, there was the haunted school. There was 100 Acres Manor or Phantom. I forget what it was called back then. So I remember like my dad, we'd hit up 2 or 3 of them in one night, and that was awesome. You get scared as a kid. And, but going back to like your pillowcases there, see, once I got my driver's license at 16, figured, hey, I'm still young enough to go trick-or-treating, right? Right?
Shoot, I went
So-
trick-or-treating with my husband. when we
So
were
I remember
married.
one year, me and my brother, we drove around. I'd park. We'd hit the whole street, get back in the car, go to the next street. Oh, we had so much candy. That's
Oh,
probably
my
why I
God.
got to beat us now. Thank you, Halloween.
For me, my cousin lived in Mount Oliver, so they would have their trick or treat during the afternoon, and then we would come over and do our trick or treating here in Dormont. I tell you what, even to this day, we get over 150 kids that come.
Oh, wow. We don't
in
get
Dormont.
anybody.
Holly has a question for Jason.
Oh,
Why
man.
do you always wear sunglasses on the show?
Oh, I can
Well,
tell you that. Because he's doing
sometimes-
stuff he's not supposed to be doing, like checking his TikTok account, Facebook,
TikTok. I don't even
Messenger.
have TikTok. Well, you see, I work a lot of hours and I get up really, really early and sometimes need a quick siesta and, just want to blend in with the crowd.
Yeah.
It depends. It depends if we. Oh, wow.
Depends on
Okay,
what time I
we're-
got up that morning.
Yeah. Okay. Dan Aykroyd is a big UFO guy. And on TikTok, I can't find the TikTok. I can't get into my TikTok, but he said in 1984, he had this incredible urge to go outside and look at the sky. He told his wife he doesn't know what's wrong with him, but something keeps telling him to go outside and look at the sky. Well, apparently the next day, it was all over in the news. Thousands of people went outside and looked up at the sky for they had the same thing happen. And what they saw was a pink vortex.
Oh,
So has anybody out there, or you guys have heard of that?
no, I have not heard of a.
Was
Pink
he using his powers of the cone head to see
Yeah,
the
I don't-
vortex?
Pink
But when you
vortex.
Google 1984 vortex,
I
yeah,
wasn't
there's
even
people-
around yet.
Well, I was. I was year before I got married.
I wasn't even
Think-
conceived till 1985.
1984. I was in the Black Sea.
The Black Sea.
Yep, up near. I think it's the Black Sea, the one out there, but near close to Russia.
Oh wow.
hmm
So I'm like, what is a pink vortex? What is it? Has anybody ever heard of it?
I'll
The
look it
vortex
up.
that's pink, maybe, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, but it was it's sort of like the Northern Lights. I guess it would be something like that.
Well, where was he at? I mean,
He was in upper New York. So I'm gonna Google that and see if there's any
Is it
articles on it.
possible that it could have been one of those, like Sean was talking about the Northern Lights or whatever? Certain times a year are very rare. You can see that in other parts of the world. Could it have been,
The Northern Lights, so they're not pink. No, I just Googled it.
Could it have been the whole Red Sky at Night Sailor?
Okay, here we go.
Ordeal where the sun setting and maybe it was a tornado.
Maybe, but it was in the middle of the night, so it's like, what's the chance of that happening? But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share this with you guys because apparently it did happen. Okay, strange sights brighten the night skies in upstate New York. Although you have to subscribe to the stupid article. Yeah, all of a sudden, a cop bursts in yelling, "The UFO's here! The UFO's here!" said Peter Brandenburg, a 43-year-old real estate developer. Everyone jumped out and jolted out. They went flying down the stairs to see the thing, just staring at it. Wow. And supposedly, I'm trying to think how many people actually saw this. It was V-shaped or circle, but the size of a football field, absolutely noiseless, outlined in brilliant lights of red or green.
What year
Well, I
was
thought
this?
he said it was a pink
84?
vortex. Yeah, at night.
Now,
yeah.
was this at a like a house party in the 80s?
No.
I'm sure
No,
they
they-
have seen all
no.
kinds of things.
nothing like the 70 house parties, buddy.
Apparently, this happened more than once in upper state New York.
Well, so do house parties, but
Well,
just
you
saying.
know what? That missing 411, there's a lot of the people vanishing, but there's also a ton of UFO activity in upstate New York. A lot.
It must be a hot spot. But it actually telepathically told people to go outside and look at it, which is pretty cool. Now, would I go outside? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
sort
would.
of like the mood. And we're getting back to when John's here. We're going to do a show about the UFOs over was it the White House, and when was that? I don't know if you guys ever read about that one.
I've heard of it. I didn't read about it.
And that
Was
in
that
the
back
40s.
in 84?
It was in the 40s,
The 40s?
I think.
Maybe John.
1952. If you go to Wikipedia,
Is he going to be on
I
next
don't-
week?
I'm not sure if he's on every 2 weeks. Sometimes
We're
he's
talking
on.
about UFOs next week.
I'm not sure. Well, I don't have a guest yet, but July 12th to the 29th, 1952, a series of unidentified flying objects were reported in Washington, D.C. Later became known as the Washington Flap, the Washington National Airport sightings, or the invasion of Washington. So this is something that they made. It went into Wikipedia. So it's like, it's happened. So, but no one really talks about it.
Nah,
I mean,
here
that
we
We
should
need
go.
to
be-
see some better concrete evidence on these
Yes.
UFOs.
Well, here we go.
Especially with nowadays with all the technology, why do we just still have crappy?
Exactly.
Well, this
superbly
was people seeing this all over the place, and it was even air traffic controllers. Oh my God,
Okay.
they
Is it
spotted it on
possible-
seven flying saucers above the White House. It was spotted on radar, but no one
Okay.
ever talks about it.
Is it possible
This is the same
that Blue
time-
Beam-
No,
Is it-
they didn't have that back
Fine
in. But
ice,
this is
children.
this was the same time that Valiant Thor was there.
Oh my
1952. So maybe it was. Maybe they are, and he did say that
It was
there's
grease
tons
lightning
of
in
them.
the sky.
He did say that they were all circulating the United States and the Russia and everywhere. But why did he go to Russia if they were so concerned about the Cold War?
We're
Why did
gonna
he
have
come?
to get him
Why
on
did he
the
want to talk?
We have to get him on the show and ask him that question.
You got to bring them.
Yeah.
Well, this is crazy because this particular, there was like at 3 a.m. shortly before two United States Air Force F-95 Starfire jets fighters. They arrived over Washington to shoot these guys down, but they didn't shoot them down. They just disappeared. Come
Could have
on.
been a hologram. Did they have holograms back
I
then?
don't think they had that technology back then. I mean, this is a 3 a.m. This was there very early. There's a couple different. There's one at 11:40. There was one at 3 a.m. There was one. Okay, the sighting of July 19th through the 20th made front page headlines in newspapers around the nation. Okay, so why did they quit talking about it?
Why?
Because people are like goldfish, were interested for about 3 seconds and then move on to the next.
And then
Yes.
July 26th to the 27th at 8:15 p.m. Saturday, July 26, 1952. Now this is all around Roswell crafts 1947. So this I think maybe this is all true, and it goes back to Valiant Thor.
Bring them on. Bring them on, Jen.
Yes, if you have to, get like a whole circle of mediums and combine their powers and pull them in, so he has no
Yeah.
choice.
Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should try to do
it.
that. The sighting of July 26th through the 27th also made front page news and
What
led
if,
President Harry Truman to have his Air Force aide, yes, and what they called Rublet, and asked for an explanation of the sightings and unknown radar returns.
What do you?
So
It just crossed my mind. What do you think would happen? As we were talking about psychics there for a second. What do you think would happen if we had a whole panel full of psychics and had them give each other readings?
Oh, that'd be crazy, dude. Do you know how many
The
egos?
Tuesday torture gremlins
Oh
would
my
be in
God.
full swing.
Dude, if we had like we did with that UFO panel, we had a bunch of mediums and
that was
psychic
crazy.
that, I'm telling you, man.
And then get one person to like play their psychic to see if the other ones could figure out who, like, guess who.
Well,
It's
when
like,
That'd be amazing.
Who was the one that tried to guess the color of your eyes? You remember that?
Oh, that was a couple weeks ago.
that was bad.
Oh, I can't remember.
That was
that was with that girl who talks to Val all the time, man.
yeah, that was Margie.
Yeah, Margie.
Jason, you were here when we talked to him. Her.
Torture Tuesday. Jenny's all
tired,
focused. Jenny's brain's thinking like,
Actually,
Yeah,
my
he's got a
brain has
good
been
point. How do I
working a
get all
lot
these
better. Have
psychics
you
on here at the
noticed
same
it since? Remember how I would fall asleep almost,
Yeah.
and I couldn't see.
Are you taking naps now?
No, I didn't take. I've been taking iron.
Iron.
I had
Oh.
tearing
iron
up
poor
at the gym,
blood.
huh?
Yeah, I've been taking iron, and I
So
stopped
do you-
taking Restasis for my eyes because I have that autoimmune. Just no, I'm gonna tell you my secret, okay, you guys? You wanna hear?
Oh, here we go.
You know, if you have to have an open mind, there's a guy on TikTok. Okay, I have to find it.
The time traveler.
No, I don't know why I can't get into TikTok on this computer. I used to. I had no problem doing that. I think I have to sign in, and I have no idea what my sign is name, but he's a preacher dude. Okay, let me see if I can sign in. But don't make fun, and don't think I'm
You
crazy
gonna spill the beans already? Come on.
because don't make fun of me. I mean, I've turned this volume down; it's too loud. You guys can't hear.
Well, if
it,
we
but
can't
it's
make
so
fun of you,
loud.
then what's the point of being on here?
Oh, it's too loud. I can't hear. Okay, how do I sign in? Do I
She's
use?
just beating around the bush now?
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't do it. This is too loud. Why don't you guys log in? You don't know how.
What?
Oh my God, I can't stand this guy's making too much noise. I wonder if I can log in with my Facebook page.
You're losing us, Jen. You're losing us. What's
You're
the
doing
secret?
it.
We're getting lost.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
can
hear
hear you.
you.
So what's the secret?
What's the secret?
Okay, wait a minute. I'm gonna see if I can log
Oh.
in. Okay.
I'm
I
getting
won't
gray
do it.
hairs.
I get-
Well-
I'm gonna be silver like Sean here in a minute. Keep this postponing.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, forget
The
about it.
hair's falling out now. Yep.
All right, I won't do it then.
Well, what's the secret?
There's a guy.
I hope this is good.
He's a preacher dude.
Amen.
Oh, I got in. Wait a minute.
Oh my God.
And I'll show it to
Should
you.
I just go make some snacks? Because by the time I get back, I can
Just
be
wait a
munching.
minute.
I'm still waiting.
Pizza rolls.
Okay, I found it. Now,
I'm
I'm gonna pause it. So I'll tell you first. Okay. There's a preacher.
dude.
His name is Michael Paul Order. That's his handle, whatever you want to call it, handle. He claims that he has the gift of healing. In the Bible, Jesus Christ, he didn't come over you and say you're healed. Even if you touched his garment, you would be healed. He's doing the same thing, but it was not with clothing or with his hands. He claims that if you look into this healing jar, he prayed over, and it's really hard to explain. He believes that if you look and say this is a heal, I'll show you. If you look into this jar and ask for healing of something on your body that needs healing, it'll heal you. Okay, I did it. I went off for stasis. My eyes, I can see, and I have tears in them right now. I mean, it's not 100% better, but they're not all bloodshot. I only put drops in maybe once a day.
Okay.
It can work for anything. So I'm going to play this to you guys just for a few seconds. And if you do have anything wrong with you and you're healed, we want to know about it so we can probably have this guy on the show. I like to have him on the show if it's true. What?
Should I go to my cupboard and look for a mason jar or what?
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute. Don't make fun yet.
Do we need a jar? Do we use that jar?
No, you're going to use his jar.
Can you just look at it online?
No, we're going to do it for a second. I want you to see. Don't make fun, Jason. Because I think it's true.
I mean, I had some health issues there, and I was on some pretty heavy meds for a while. And
well, maybe it'll help you. Ready?
Yep.
Tell me if you can hear this.
People getting healed, people getting set free. So I want
to.
So if you've been on some of my lives lately, you've seen.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
With the jar, people getting healed, people getting set free. So I want to give you that opportunity now from the Lord to do that. So all you need to do is just relax and look at the jar until the end. So God bless you. Please tell me what happens below. I'll talk a little bit more about it at the end if you make it that far. Please comment and let me know what happens. In Jesus' name.
We'll just do this for a second.
How long is it?
Stay relaxed. Any sensation
3
that
minutes.
you might feel, just don't fight it. Just let it happen.
What's this dude's name? Michael what?
Paul Order.
I'll let you know in the
I feel a
morning
lot of
if.
different
And he
it's
has a
all my
whole
issues.
bunch of them. And I'm telling you,
Holy Spirit is working.
I
on
think
you.
this is for real. And if you go
I'll
back
find out in
and
the
read
morning.
his stuff, if you go back and
Just
read
continue
his
letting him work.
stuff, all his posts, his
You
comments,
may not feel anything at the
it
moment,
seems like
that's
every
okay, too.
single one of them, there's thousands of them.
Could you please try to get him on the show so he can?
Yeah, I'm
bring
gonna
his
try.
jar?
I'm gonna send him. And he uses other jars and other little. But the comments are what's really interesting. I mean,
Jesus' name.
people, and I feel 100% better. I try to do it like once every couple days, and at night when I can't sleep, and that's what happened. I couldn't sleep, and I fell upon his ministry TikTok, and when I did it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have an open mind. And my eye, I mean, if you saw my eyes in person, you say, oh, Jenny, you don't have bloodshot eyes anymore. It's like, oh my God.
Don't be be scared.
but it's 3 minutes. But you can go back to, if you guys can do a screenshot and go look, and try to do it. Fools for Christ. That's what it's called. The Fools for Christ.
Thank you, Lord.
But I just wanted to share that with you. But that's basically what I've been doing.
I just stared the crap out of that jar. I'll let you know in the morning if my problem's solved.
Same
It
here,
would be
bro.
nice if it was, but you can go, if you want to do the whole 3 minutes, you can go back on. I'll send you the link.
Yeah, send
'Cause
me the
it's,
link, please. I want to get rid of
I'll
this.
share. I'll share.
arthritis in
Yeah,
my
I'll
body.
share. No, I mean, if it's true, I mean, why not? If you, and it's the power of prayer, meaning you believe it, you receive it. So if you believe it, you'll receive it. So I think it works. I mean, oh my God, I was so bad. I couldn't see. I'll be like this halfway through the show. I mean, I'm sure it has to do with iron too, but when was the last time I could actually, last couple of weeks, actually, yeah, it's been about 2 weeks that I've been doing this, that I haven't been like, I gotta get out of here. I'm so
You know
tired.
what? You
Right.
know, when you say that, that is true. I mean, you have been more livelier. You know, you're not falling asleep on us.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, I don't know if it has
Maybe you're
anything.
just a vampire, and since it's getting darker earlier.
No,
Less
no,
fatigue.
no,
Well,
no,
dude,
no,
Jason,
no.
look at her face. Look how white she is. Like, seriously. I
White.
mean,
I think I'm.
You need to suck the
I'm
blood
not-
of the innocent.
Yeah,
you a vampire too?
I don't know, guys.
Do
What
they
do you
come
think?
out?
No, but I can't stand that new interview with the vampire. I turned it off. It's
What,
horrible.
that new one? That new one?
Yeah, I was very disappointed. I think what they did to Anne Rice is, he shouldn't change the characters. If they couldn't get the real people on, then just don't do it. It just doesn't. I don't know. I didn't like it. I'm trying to find a
Usually
new show.
Usually the original ones are the best, you know. And
Oh my God. I don't know. I've been
I
watching
felt,
the
you know, in that first one, I felt bad for that little girl, man. You know what I mean? You know, the one that, you know, she got bitten.
the one that wanted a mommy.
Yeah. And,
Yeah, it sucked.
yeah. So it just, I don't know.
So in the paranormal world of things, there's a new location that is beginning to bring teams in, and it is called the Ross House. I don't know if either of you have heard of it.
No.
Well, I got an investigation there coming up in the next
Sweet.
couple weeks, and we'll probably be one of the first ones there because they just became kind of public. And believe it or not, it's located in Blair, Ohio, which
Oh.
is not too far from the Blair House.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Blair Witch.
And Cindy, that's her name, she owns the place, and she's real nice, and she, you know, was kind of telling us about the story and everything. You know, the house was built in 1895 and been through multiple families. There's been deaths in the house, and to this day, there's poltergeist activity, and that she actually has a few names. Now, I kind of want to keep myself from too much information because I want to see what comes through and then
Right.
compare notes afterwards. So we're pretty excited about that. But for all the paranormal groups that are listening, if you want to check this place out, it's in Blair, Ohio. If you go to therosshouse.org, you can make reservations, and, you know, Cindy, she's more than accommodating and very nice. And, you know, we're looking
How-
forward to it. It just came out. So this is exciting. This is
Sweet.
really exciting.
You should have a
How
medium.
far is it from the Bel Air house? Do you know?
As of right now, I'm not sure, but Blair's not that big to my
Right.
knowledge. So yeah, I'm not sure, you know, how close or whatever. But, you know, like I said, we'll find out. And, you know, that's semi-local. You know, it's only about an hour away, hour
Yep.
and a half from Pittsburgh. You know, I'm in Monongahela. You know, it's only about an hour from here. And, you know, anybody towards Ohio or a little more
Sweet.
west. So that's going to be
Oh, Cindy says 3 blocks away
3 blocks. Okay.
Yeah,
There, that solves that. So
that's awesome. Good luck to
hopefully-
you, dude. Good luck to
yeah,
you.
yeah. Thanks. Hopefully we'll catch some good evidence and
Yeah.
get to post some stuff and share some stuff, and I'm still going over some stuff from the Hinsdale house, and hours upon
There you
hours
go.
of video footage. Yeah, so
Ooh.
that's coming up right after Halloween, so
Cool.
pumped up.
It's cool. It's cool. What are you
Yeah,
doing,
well-
Sean? Anything?
I spoke at they had an oddities convention up at Monroeville Expo. Mart.
Oddities? What do you mean?
It was all about witches, man.
Oh, you
All
should have
about
told
witches.
me. I would have went up. Not that
Um,
I'm a witch or anything.
then what's going on this Sunday? I have a round table with Drake Bowman at the Penn Hills Library, 4:30 to 6:30.
Oh, that's neat.
The
Now,
20.
what's that all about?
I don't know. I don't even know what questions we were going to ask. I mean, he's just got like 3 or 4 of us, and we're going to sit there at a round table and talk to people.
That's
I-
neat.
I
Is it
don't
like
know.
an event?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Check it out. Don't know. All I know is I'm supposed to be there at 4:30 Sunday. Is it the 18th? Something like that. This Sunday coming up.
I grew up
Then
in
the
Penn
23rd,
Hills.
I'm going to be down there in Charleroi, and that's another place you should go check out, Jason.
What's that?
This place down there in Charleroi. It's called Tim's Secret Treasures.
Okay.
That's every year I've been doing that for about the last 10 years. And what she does is she has a party, has 2 psychics down there.
Nice.
And I go in with Shelly and another person, and we take a bunch of people out for a little mini ghost hunt for that. And then on the 29th, I'll be down to Marcos.
Nice.
Yeah.
Get some chicken wings.
Oh,
I had
yeah.
chicken wings for dinner.
They're good for you.
Yeah, they
They were
are.
good.
Could you imagine how many chickens it takes to make a wing night all
Dude.
across the country?
Speaking of planets, man, there's so many damn chickens for everybody out there. They could have their own planet. You know what I mean? Honest to God, where are
Jenny
they
must be
like?
too chicken to talk about chicken wings because she left.
Honest to God, it's amazing. By just working at Shop and Save and was that Giant Eagle, all the chicken that we would get in just for that one store. Can you just imagine? All
Oh,
the grocery stores out there of all these chickens, man. Holy crap!
that, and I remember, wing nights at like Quaker Steak, and
Mm-hmm.
you'd go there with all your buddies, and next thing you know, you just, between a couple of you just ate a couple hundred chicken wings. You're across the country.
What kind of sauce do you like with your wings, dude?
Anytime when I was in high school and we'd go to Quaker Steak for wing night, it was always the Arizona Ranch.
Arizona Ranch.
Absolute favorite, yes. But
Huh.
other than that, I'm like a buffalo, style.
Okay.
hot
okay.
wings in mine.
I'm
What about you?
not. The only thing I'll go for is like at is it garlic salt? I like
butter or
garlic salt on mine.
salt?
And what else? Barbecue. But I like to eat them plain. I'm not really big into the mess.
Yeah, sometimes just the seasoned salt ones, hit the spot.
You have an air fryer, right?
Yeah, it's
I-
excellent for
Have
that.
you cooked chicken in it yet?
Absolutely.
Oh my God, yeah. I like.
Do you think spirits might smell those wonderful chicken wings cooking in the air fryer and get hungry?
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
Jenny, welcome back.
Yeah.
You
Where'd
left
you
us.
go?
You were
I
too
was-
chicken to talk about chicken.
No, I was trying to fix my stupid camera. I can't.
What's wrong with it? We see you.
We see you. You look good. Honest to Pete. You do. Ladies and gentlemen out there watching the show on YouTube or wherever, can you see Jenny? Can you see? Tell us.
I don't know. It must be because I don't know what computer to look at.
So why just have one?
Well, because the one is so tiny. It was a gaming computer my son gave me.
Okay, you have a big one, right?
No, it doesn't have Wi-Fi. This one does.
Once you get
I have a big monitor, and then I have a little tiny screen one.
Oh my goodness. You know it's 2022, Jetty.
yeah, yeah. Oh, she's
There's
getting
all
tired
the
now, brother.
technology you could ever need is right at your fingertips
Her
on the
eyes are
internet or at the
closed.
store.
Her eyes are closing. Look at that. Yep. Wake up.
She needs another blood bag for the vampire.
Yeah.
If she has more color in her face
What-
next week, we'll know what happened.
What do you prefer? O negative, A plus, B plus? What? What kind of blood do you like?
I prefer O negative.
O negative
Those are the
blood?
aliens. Those are the aliens, you know.
Oh, I'm an O
People who have
positive, I
O
think.
negative are usually aliens, they say.
I got O negative.
We should ask John.
I got O negative. Yeah.
Then you're an
But
alien.
speaking of blood, I used to like give blood all the time, and I have O negative. And one time I went to give blood, and they told me that I couldn't. And I'm thinking, well, why not? Here, I was stationed in Holy Loch, Scotland from 1981 to 1983. Okay.
Yeah.
The mad cow disease came out in
Oh, weird.
1985. Yes.
Mm.
So, since I was there, they took it from 1981 to 1985. I could never give blood again. I mean, and that I was kind of like hurt about that because I got
So
a
you
negative.
can never. We need some music
No.
for this. So you could
I-
never give blood again.
No, you can't. You're not.
Why?
Hey, did either of you ever hear about the vampire crypt that's in a cemetery in Erie, Pennsylvania?
Never
Oh,
heard of that. No.
Well, some friends of mine over at Soul Seekers, they're going to check it out, I guess, this Saturday, and they're going to live stream it.
Oh,
I think
sweet.
At 9 a.m. they're going, so I might have to check that out.
so
I
they
haven't
think
heard
there's
of
a
it. They was like,
real
"Hey, check this out."
vampire
I was like,
crypt,
A vampire crypt in Erie?
and
That's only
the
like 2 hours
vampire
away?
lives in the crypt.
I don't
is
know. I
he
got to
li-
get some more information, but
Yeah, I would.
I am very curious. And Jenny, if I see you there, I'll know why.
You're gonna have to
But that's
tell
pretty
Mark.
cool. It's only like 2 hours away.
I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call Mark and I'm gonna tell him to get you some bags of like red pop and something. Kathleen. Kathleen Wilson. She says I've been up there to see that.
Yeah, I'm just now hearing of it, and I'm pretty curious.
So they
Kathleen,
think
what,
that
is it
there's a
good?
real vampire crypt.
Yeah,
In
I'm
this
not-
area.
I'm not sure.
Kathleen, what was it like? Pretty cool.
So I can tell you there's a local cemetery that I've walked through a few times, and there's this one like tomb off to the far back by itself that I remember before being a paranormal investigator, just feeling the energy off this thing. It was just so dark and heavy. It even had gargoyles
Oh,
on,
really?
like the pillars. Like,
Where
it
at
was
this
huge.
crypt?
No, this is a local cemetery. We're talking about creepy tombs
okay.
and everything. And I remember walking, I was walking through there and just the energy, and then you start hearing it sounded like something was running through the trees at you.
So you think it was a
weird.
gargoyle?
I don't know what was in that one, but it was
Well,
something
gargoyles are really creepy. I have them in my house. They're
Oh,
supposed to
wow.
protect. They're supposed to protect
bad.
the.
So Kathleen says
yeah.
there are legends of hellhounds, and the first time that she was up there, she saw a coyote and wondered if people ever saw them and thought they were hellhounds.
Possibility, Kathleen. Very possible.
What's a hellhound?
A dog from hell, pretty much coming to get your soul.
Yes.
Great.
The
If
best
you
way to
make- if-
encounter them is to make a deal with the devil.
Exactly. You make a deal with the devil, and when your time's up, he sends the hellhounds to get your soul.
Oh, that's a nice
That
bedtime
is one thing I
story.
would not want to venture into.
No, not at all. Especially
All
with
you got to do
Halloween.
is get some wolf bane, PANE, and put it all around your doors, around your house. And
Where do you get
all
that at? The grocery store?
well, probably some metaphysical store sells it.
A
Seriously,
physical store or a metaphysical store?
Metaphysical store is what, yes. Your
Okay.
music got into the way of my speaking.
No, it's not that loud. I think it's nice. It kind of gives a nice ambiance, to the end of the show.
It's creepy.
really
Makes
creepy.
me.
Sounds
So,
like I'm underwater
It was
looking
late
at
into the
UFO
night.
alien bases under the water.
Well, there's a lot of people that think that there are alien bases underwater.
I believe that. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, that's a perfect way to hide.
And look
Those
at
are
all
the ones that go-
energy- Look at the energy that the water has in order for it to, they tap into that.
Yeah, I think it's a very good explanation where they all go. They just swoop. They come in so high, then they go way down low into the water.
So, are
So-
you going to take your grandchildren trick or treating, or you going to do that?
Who, me? They're too
Well, I
little.
don't have any grandchildren.
I don't have any.
So little. They're so little and so damn cute. My niece is a doll. Not my
mean-
niece, my granddaughter. She's a sweetheart. She's so cute. I think she's a baby doll.
We did Caddyshack theme the first year of Jet, his first Halloween, and we dressed him up as the gopher.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember that.
Wagon with
Yeah.
there's pictures of it and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
adorable.
But, yeah, you should go out, take them out. Couple houses, that's all. Just
These
think of
two-
the
Or wait till the day after Halloween and go gobble up all the Halloween candy. It's 50% off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I used to do. Yeah.
You know what? No crap. Right after Halloween, November 1st, you can put it on your calendar. We'll start putting Christmas candy out.
Oh, there's already some Christmas crap up at some stores.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not much, but it's like, are you serious? Might as well never even take it down at this point.
Yeah.
I think we're getting a shipment of Christmas candy like October 27th.
Oh, my
Where?
That's what I'm saying.
God. Did you
They don't
ever
have their
wonder
Christmas.
if
Oh,
the
Christmas
candy,
candy.
if
What's
the
that?
No, I was just
Wait,
thinking you're not talking about Halloween.
did you ever wonder all the candy that comes out for the holidays specifically? Did you ever wonder if the candy manufacturers just rebag all that crap for the next year so it doesn't get wasted?
Never thought of that one, dude.
No,
doesn't
it would be all black. The chocolate would be
Yeah,
all
but all the
messed up.
preservatives and everything, that it lasts forever.
No, you know what?
Yeah.
Chocolate does not last long.
But the preservatives, how do we even know it's real chocolate anymore? We don't.
I'm not sure.
Now,
I'm
real
not
quick
sure.
question. What's your favorite candy? Mine's Reese's.
I know what mine is.
I'm torn between Twix and Reese's.
What's
Depends on what kind of
Reese's?
mood I'm in.
Okay. Jenny?
But I think Twix would take it for me, though.
Mine is Heat Bar.
Ooh.
Oh,
I love Heat.
might as well say candy corn.
Yeah.
Candy corn.
You know what you do with candy corn? You get it and you throw it in the trash. That's the best way to enjoy it.
Yes, it is. Up in the bag and toss it away. That is so
Oh.
gross. It's pitifully gross.
I like candy corn. Last year, I decorated my mantle. Totally forgot about doing that. I think I'm going to do that. I decorated my mantle with it. It was so pretty. I loved it.
No, you should go to Dunkin' Donuts and get the pumpkin signature latte. Good Lord, is that delicious? Bad for diabetics, I'll tell you that. I
I
found that out
am
the
not
hard
a
way.
pumpkin spice person at all.
Take a look
Okay.
at this little angel. Isn't that
Oh
the
my
sweetest
God.
little? Isn't that the
Oh.
sweetest little picture? I just have
How
to
old
show
is
you.
she now? A month? 2 months?
She was born August 28th.
I'll tell you this now.
No, that's not
Enjoy-
right. No, she wasn't born August 28th. July 28th.
Enjoy the silence of all the sleep now.
Yes.
Oh,
She's a sweetie pie. She looks like
I
a
didn't
doll. Talk about weird manifestation. My son and daughter-in-law told me that they were going to have a baby. I went out and got a baby doll. One of those real newborn babies on Amazon had them. They look like newborn babies. And I swear to God, you put them side by side, they're the same. It's scary. Very scary. Wow. Very, very scary. Yeah, it's nice having babies. My grandson, he's a doll baby too. He's a cutie.
At least
he
when
smiles all the time.
Start growing up and getting out of control, you can send them home. Look at the bright side.
Yeah.
And don't make plans for Saturday night because you're going to end up babysitting because Mark and his wife are going to want to go out. You know what I mean? And enjoy. And, so.
No, they don't go out too much.
Well, when the baby's a year old, 2 years old, they're going to be praying for you. Yeah. I will say this.
Be grandma daycare, I guess.
Nah.
You know what? I will say this. Growing up, man, my mom, she was real strict with me. And my brother couldn't do this, couldn't do that. And I was really, really mad at her. And then I had my son. And I was like, oh my God, Mom, you were right. Here, Mom. Thank you.
But we're going to the pumpkin patch this weekend.
Oh, that's sweet.
I'm meeting my other son in Robinson. We're going to go down there. There's a pumpkin patch down there somewhere. We used to have Shrams up this way, and then they closed.
Shrams, never heard of it.
Yeah, they closed. I'm looking forward to Halloween because I wish it was on a weekend though.
It's on Monday, is it? Because our show's because our show's November 1st.
Oh. What day is November? All Souls Day.
November 1st.
Sean, are you gonna go stock up on toilet paper for Devil's Night?
Nah,
Eggs?
not at all. Nah.
Are you gonna go do you're gonna be doing that? You're too old to be doing that.
What, trick or treating? Yeah.
No, Devil's Night.
Oh,
Did you ever think that when you were a kid or teenager and other teenagers are like, oh, I hate this person, we're gonna go throw toilet paper all over our house.
We did
and
that.
Eggs. Well, you're not hurting that other teenager. You're just making parents angry.
Yeah.
Because that's their house. That's not the kid's house. That's the parents' house, and they got to deal with the mess.
Well, here's the deal. The big thing that I used to do is take a soap bar and soap windows.
We used to do that too.
Did you get your squeegee out and help them out?
No.
Well, when I was younger, we were tormenting this one house with this little weird boy that we taunted. Nowadays, it would be calling it bullying. Well, we were decorating their trees out front, and they had the window open. We're so stupid. We were bad. The guy comes out with a shotgun and starts chasing us down this hill. It was horrible. Oh my God!
Defend your property.
We were bad. We were so bad. We lit
wall.
Bushes on fire. We were bad.
Wow.
I was one of the bad kids. Hung out with my brothers and their friends. I was bad.
Well, it is getting close to the witching hour, though.
Yes, it is. So what's on your show tonight, Sean?
You know what? This could be a question and answer, and whatever comes out of my mouth.
This should be interesting.
Yeah, some of them are good, but whatever comes in my brain, I just say it. I'll probably talk about tonight that dude with the jar, man. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, you can go. Like I said,
let you know tomorrow if my problem is healed.
I think I posted in the chat. Do it and go look at all his comments. And there's a lot of videos, and I think it's for the real deal.
Cool. And then try to get them on. That would be.
I will try. All right, ladies and gentlemen. It's been
Thank
such
you,
a
everybody,
great time.
for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in to Torture Tuesday.
And next week, I don't know who we're going to have on the show, but I'm sure we'll have somebody. If not, we'll just sit back and talk about nothing.
That's okay.
That's
Sometimes
okay.
silence is a virtue.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah.
All right, good night, everyone.
Wait, I got to find the ending. Don't rush me, buddy. This is like so hard to find anything. It's so cluttered.